Welcome everyone to today's episode of Tech on the Edge, where we dive deep into advanced reasoning models and their real-world impact. Today we're discussing the innovative Phi-4 reasoning and its RL-enhanced variant.
Thanks for having us. So to kick things off, Phi-4 reasoning's transition from the base Phi-4 model to a full-on reasoning powerhouse is achieved by incorporating carefully curated chain-of-thought techniques, which is like upgrading your car engine while still driving on the highway.
Exactly. What's fascinating here is the blend of supervised fine-tuning and a bite-sized round of reinforcement learning using GRPO, which, as the report shows, results in a tremendous boost in accuracy, especially on challenging math benchmarks like
And from a technical perspective, leveraging SFT with over 1.4 million prompt response pairs isn't just about volume, it's about precision. The model learns to structure its reasoning with special tokens, almost like having a built-in checklist before concluding.
I'd add that the design is particularly clever. By doubling the rope base frequency and extending the token length to 32K, the model can handle significantly longer reasoning traces, which is key to managing multi-step problems without losing context.
From a business strategy viewpoint, this enhancement is a game changer. Imagine a financial analytics firm using phi-4 reasoning to run multi-layered risk assessments in real time, effectively reducing decision time by a notable 20% compared to previous systems.
That business application is impressive. So, Expert 5, could you share a practical case where such models have driven tangible improvements in efficiency?
Certainly, in one real-world scenario, a retail analytics company integrated a similar reasoning model to optimize inventory management, cutting costs by nearly 15% due to enhanced forecasting accuracy and better resource allocation.
Building on that, the technical deep dive shows that the RL phase, albeit performed on only about 6K math-focused problems, enhances performance significantly, improving AIM accuracy by over 10%, which is remarkable considering the previous state-of-the-art.
And to interject, a key insight here is that increased reasoning trace length serves as both a blessing and a curse. While it boosts clarity, it does raise computational costs. And that's the inherent trade-off we often wrestle with in these massive models.
Right, and the token usage trade-offs. They note that Phi-4-reasoning-plus uses roughly 1.5 times more tokens on average than Phi-4 reasoning, which indicates the model is thinking more, so to speak, before arriving at a concise final answer.
It's like the 80-20 rule in action. The extra 20% of tokens spent on deeper reasoning leads to an 80% improvement in accuracy on some benchmarks, particularly in complex math and planning tasks.
That brings up an interesting point. How does the model ensure its extra tokens aren't just fluff?
The answer lies in the reward function during RL. By using a length-aware accuracy reward, the system penalizes overly long or repetitive text, ensuring that the additional tokens translate to genuine reasoning depth and not just verbose output.
I see your point, Expert 1, but note that this balance is delicate. If you use too strict a penalty, the model might underthink, and if too lenient, it might overthink. Finding that sweet spot is critical.
And don't forget the role of parallel test time compute, which, as the experiments show, allows the model to approach the ceiling of benchmark accuracy simply by increasing inference time iterations. A bit like taking multiple shots on goal in soccer until you score.
From the business perspective, this is crucial because enhanced accuracy directly translates into more reliable decision support systems. For instance, in autonomous logistics, where even a 5% error reduction can mean enormous savings over time.
Speaking of savings, it almost sounds too good to be true. What's the catch with scaling these models in production environments?
The main challenge is computational cost and latency. Extended context windows of 32K tokens naturally require more memory and longer processing times, which can be a barrier for real-time applications. Yeah, and there's also the potential brittleness in multi-turn interactions, where the model might occasionally lose track of context, especially in extended conversations. a bit like trying to remember every detail from a month-long project meeting.
That's true, though the report does mention promising approaches like rope interpolation for extending context to 64K tokens, which is still an active research avenue.
And if I may add a contrarian view, while everyone's focused on efficiency of token usage, I think we're missing the real bottleneck, ensuring interpretability of the reasoning chains. Businesses need to trust the model's decisions, and transparent reasoning is key.
Absolutely, trust is paramount. Companies are more likely to adopt these models if the inner logic is accessible, allowing for compliance audits and risk assessments in regulated industries like healthcare and finance.
That's a great point. Transparency in AI is as vital as performance. Can we explore some of the parallels between this model's architecture and traditional decision-making frameworks in business?
Sure, think of it like a multi-tiered organizational decision process. Each reasoning token is like a department report. And when they're all aligned and concise, the final decision is both robust and defensible, much like a well-prepared business strategy. And technically speaking, it's akin to dynamic programming. Each step reuses earlier computations, efficiently building a solution from subproblems, which is exactly what these chain-of-thought mechanisms accomplish.
The analogy extends to the business world, too. For example, a project manager synthesizing input from various teams to formulate a comprehensive strategy mirrors how the model synthesizes multiple reasoning steps to arrive at the final answer.
In fact, there was a case last year where a major logistics firm applied a similar multi-step reasoning framework to optimize route planning, and it resulted in a 10% increase in on-time deliveries, which is a huge operational win.
It's fascinating how these AI models reflect real-world business processes. On a lighter note, Expert 3, are you sure you didn't invent a few of these techniques just to impress us?
Well, I can't take all the credit, but I might have polished a few ideas along the way.
Seriously, though, the integration of reinforcement learning into the chain of thought not only boosts performance, but also adapts dynamically to feedback, much like refining a business strategy based on quarterly results. And one more thing. While the technical intricacies are impressive, the model's ability to generalize across domains, from algorithmic problem solving to planning and even content moderation, opens up opportunities across industries.
Exactly. Consider a healthcare system using such models not only for diagnostics by interpreting complex patient data, but also for scheduling critical appointments, much like the constrained calendar planning example in the report.
That's an unexpected cross-industry application. How do models like Phi-4-reasoning ensure safety and fairness, especially when handling sensitive information?
They incorporate responsible AI practices by design. Explicit safety guidelines are embedded in the training process, and mechanisms like toxicity detection pipelines aim to balance accuracy with fairness across diverse demographic categories.
Plus, the evaluation frameworks not only focus on raw accuracy, but also on group-based fairness, ensuring that the model's performance is balanced across various protected groups. This is crucial for avoiding bias in automated decision-making.
And it's worth noting that while improvements are evident, the current safety measures still need refinement, especially given the challenges in evaluating long and non-linear reasoning traces. Think of it as an ongoing audit that evolves alongside the model. To wrap up the technical deep dive, the interplay of SFT and RL in these models is setting a new standard for how we approach AI reasoning, proving that even smaller models with 14 billion parameters can punch above their weight compared to giants in the field.
From a strategic lens, it's a reminder that innovation isn't solely about scale. It's also about smart data curation, precise fine-tuning, and targeted feedback loops that together can deliver outsized returns.
Wow, that's a lot of ground covered. From deep technical architecture to business applications, and even a bit of humor along the way. Thanks to all our experts for this insightful discussion.
Thanks for hosting. It's been a great conversation with lots of layers to unpack.
Absolutely. This dialogue really shows how advanced reasoning models are transforming both tech and business landscapes.
I'm glad we could dive deep and share these insights. There's so much more to explore in the realm of structured AI reasoning.
And remember, while the models are powerful, the challenge remains in scaling safely and transparently. There's always room for further innovation.
Indeed, and from a business standpoint, the opportunity to leverage these models in strategic planning and operational efficiency is immense. Truly a win-win when technology meets smart execution.
That's a wrap for today's episode. Remember, it's not just about the numbers and tokens, but the smart integration of technology into everyday business practice. Till next time on Tech on the Edge, keep innovating and stay curious. Welcome back to Tech on the Edge Part 2, where we're diving even deeper into the technical implementation details and business applications of Phi-4 reasoning and its RL-enhanced variant.
Let's kick off the deep dive by unpacking the key algorithmic backbone. During supervised fine-tuning, the use of chain-of-thought tokens like think and think not only guides the model's reasoning, but also acts as boundary markers to segment long sequences, essentially modularizing its problem-solving approach.
Right. And to add some nuance, the tokenization strategy leverages an extended rope mechanism which doubles the base frequency, allowing for coherent processing over 32K tokens. This is similar to having a high-resolution camera that captures fine details even in a panoramic shot.
On the implementation front, the integration of outcome-based reinforcement learning with Group Relative Policy Optimization (RPO) is particularly fascinating. It fine-tunes the model on a compact dataset of roughly 6,400 math problems, which reminds me of the iterative refinement process in agile development cycles.
I'd like to highlight that the reward function is designed with a length-aware accuracy component, ensuring that the model penalizes repetitions and unnecessary verbosity. This is achieved via cosine scaling to balance between concise answers and sufficient reasoning depth.
Turning to the business applications, consider an enterprise-level supply chain manager. By incorporating these reasoning mechanisms, such systems can simulate complex decision trees in real time, leading to a reduction in costly routing errors and optimizing logistic flows across multiple nodes.
Excellent points. Could someone elaborate on how these technical details directly translate into operational improvements within a corporate framework?
Sure, for instance, in financial services, the model's ability to perform multi-step risk assessments allows for near-instantaneous scenario planning, akin to running thousands of Monte Carlo simulations simultaneously, which can decisively influence investment strategies.
And speaking of real-world impact, a case study showed that when an e-commerce company applied similar models to forecast inventory needs, they achieved a 15% reduction in excess stock while maintaining responsiveness to market trends, a direct outcome of improved reasoning accuracy.
Technically, the use of parallel test time compute is crucial here. By generating multiple reasoning trajectories and selecting the best outcome via majority or best of K evaluations, the system ensures consistent high-quality outputs, even in dynamic business environments.
I'd add that these techniques are reminiscent of ensemble methods in traditional machine learning. Multiple independently generated outputs collaborate to support a single, more reliable decision, exactly what's needed in high-stakes environments like healthcare management.
From a strategic viewpoint, this means businesses can deploy these models to not only perform complex analytics, but also to act as decision aids, effectively reducing both operational risk and manual oversight costs in sectors such as energy grid management.
That connection between heavy-duty computation and tangible business results is truly compelling. What steps are being taken to ensure the model remains scalable and secure as usage increases?
Developers are exploring advanced rope interpolation techniques to potentially extend the context window to 64K tokens, which would allow the model to absorbing even more context without sacrificing accuracy, much like upgrading to a supercomputer for specific tasks.
And on the security side, implementing rigorous, responsible AI practices during training, such as embedding safety guidelines and running toxicity detection pipelines, ensures that output remains both fair and compliant, critical for industries bound by regulation.
To interject with a technical aside, the model's training also benefits from iterative data curation, where both synthetic and organic datasets are filtered through automated pipelines. This mirrors the modern software practice of continuous integration and testing, ensuring robustness over time.
I see your point, Expert 3. And to build on that, this approach not only minimizes bias, but also creates a living model, one that adapts to emerging patterns by rebalancing its training corpus periodically, akin to a self-updating enterprise resource planning system.
From the business side, integrating such adaptive systems means that companies can remain agile in volatile markets. By updating model parameters without downtime, operations can seamlessly adjust to new economic realities, which is a competitive advantage in today's fast-paced world.
It's like having a strategy that evolves with every new piece of data, a fascinating blend of technology and management theory.
Exactly. And remember Einstein's observation: imagination is more important than knowledge. This technology embodies that by not just relying on static data, but dynamically reasoning through new challenges with fresh insights.
And on that note, the unexpected insight that sometimes the simplest architecture modifications can yield disproportionate benefits reinforces the idea that innovation in AI isn't solely about bigger models, but smarter designs and targeted enhancements.
Absolutely, the 80-20 heuristic applies perfectly here. A focused RL phase, even on a limited domain like math, can boost performance on a wide range of tasks, proving that well-curated examples are worth their weight in gold.
In summary, the deep technical architecture coupled with real-world business applications makes Phi-4 reasoning and its RL variant not just an academic curiosity, but a transformative tool across industries, from logistics to finance, healthcare to retail.
Thanks to our experts for this illuminating deep dive. Part 2 has certainly underscored how technical ingenuity directly fuels strategic business advantages. Stay tuned for more insights and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in technology and business. Wow, what a rich discussion. Let's wrap up with an end-to-end summary of our conversation today.
To recap, we dove deep into the architecture of Phi-4 reasoning, examining how extended tokenization using enhanced rope and chain of thought markers together enable a 32K token window that delivers both detailed reasoning and modular problem solving.
We also highlighted that the integration of outcome-based reinforcement learning, particularly through GRPO on targeted math challenges, not only boosts performance, but exemplifies the 80-20 rule in AI design: small, focused enhancements yielding wide-reaching benefits.
From a technical perspective, our exploration emphasized cutting-edge techniques like parallel test-time compute and dynamic data curation pipelines that ensure robustness, akin to continuous integration in modern software development.
And on the business front, we discussed real-world applications, from optimizing supply chains in e-commerce to reducing financial risks through multi-step scenario planning, demonstrating how these innovations translate directly into strategic operational advantages.
In summary, the key innovations here: extended context windows, structured reasoning via taught chain of thought, and adaptive reinforcement learning, are not just academic feats, but practical tools that drive efficiency and decisiveness in sectors ranging from logistics to healthcare.
Thanks to all our experts for this illuminating journey through technical insights and business strategies. Today's discussion has truly shown that smart design and deep reasoning are the engines powering tomorrow's competitive edge.